Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. I recently posted a video entitled Female Homecoming King at School, LGBTQ plus Rally. In that video, I was sharing an email that someone sent me explaining what was going on at the school of their sibling, how there was an election at their school for a homecoming king and queen, but there is a biological female who won king, so the school wanted to have two kings so that there could also be a biologically born male who won king, but the students flipped out and had a rally and they were so upset. So I kept the school anonymous and I didn't show any footage. However, since I posted that video, there have been news reports broadcasted on television. There are videos on TikTok with over 1 million views of the rally. So today I wanted to show some of the footage as well as the news broadcast and share some of my thoughts. Now, before I show any footage, I do want to say that on my channel, I always try to maintain proper Islamic guidelines regarding not showing women dressed inappropriately or anything like that. However, in this video, I'm going to just be playing raw footage from the rally and the news broadcast. So if you want to avoid seeing any inappropriate footage, then you can lower your gaze or simply not watch the video. The sad reality is parents need to see what's going on. They need to see real raw footage of where they are sending their children. So we're going to start with 3 videos that were posted on TikTok. It appears as if these were posted by a student that attends the school.
We did a protest at our school. We were only expecting 100, but all these people showed up to supper. Happy official Pride Day. PCTI.
So look at all of those kids supporting LGBT. Imagine you disagree with promoting the idea that gender is just some construct that people can decide for themselves. Imagine you disagree with homosexuality. Imagine you believe in God and you follow divine revelation. And therefore, although you might understand where these people are coming from, you understand they have been fed this idea. They really do feel like by supporting this movement that they are being good people. However, you know for a fact, based on divine revelation from the all-knowing, that they're wrong. How do you expect a high school student to deal with that? How many high school students do you think are strong enough mentally, emotionally, even physically to stand up for the truth in a situation like this, versus how many are just going to go along with the crowd? Now, this next clip is really something. One thing that's fascinating about this whole ordeal is how everyone has these smartphones. There now appears to be a whole generation that whenever something bad happens to them, something they disagree with, they press record on their phone and start scolding and screaming at somebody.
I was harassed and bullied by over 500 students my sophomore year, and you guys don't understand how hurtful that was. You guys covered it up. Students were put in detention, they were suspended, and it was not handled correctly. Zoe was harassed by kids who were homophobic. My situation was completely different. Hers was an actual issue that the government still has problems with. Every single day, gay people, straight people, everyone has issues with this. How was my situation handled to the extent it was? It was an HIV situation, which I know all the adults here know very well about.
I don't know what that was all about. Now, I know there are some really bad teachers and administrators at schools, but there are also some really, really good ones, and it's an extremely difficult job. It's also an extremely important job. But if things keep going this way, who's going to be left to want to deal with any of this? So now we're going to hear from Zoe. This is who this entire rally was for. This is the one who is a biological female who won homecoming king. Now, I honestly do not know how to refer to Zoe because in the email it seemed like Zoe is a biological female who now identifies as a male. However, in the news report that we'll watch after this, Zoe is referred to as a female and she calls herself a lesbian. So I think we're all genuinely, very sincerely confused. But anyways, this is the speech from Zoe.
Zoe's explanation.
Clear and concise motive for this peaceful protest. The day I made the decision to run for homecoming king was a very significant milestone for me, and one that was done with a tremendous amount of thoughtfulness. Honestly, one of the contributing factors that made me feel like I could take this vulnerable step was the environment here at PCTI and the assumption that the administration would support me. Support me as a student, support me as a lesbian, support me as a human being who has a strong desire to show that women deserve a place and the ultimate position of power is not always a man.
Okay, so I guess she identifies as a woman and a lesbian, but she just wanted to win homecoming king. I don't know. I don't get it. But as you can see, she's taking a dig at men, and everyone celebrates. Woo!
I would also like to address the dismissive actions of the administration regarding the student body's suffrage rights. PCTVS is home to numerous student councils, groups, organizations, and mock trials that help students understand that their votes and their voices are acknowledged and important. During this homecoming election, not only was tradition ignored, but our voting rights were ignored. This contradicted all of what PCTVS has ever claimed they stand for.
The tradition is that kings are men. Kings are biological males. Kings are not female lesbians. That's tradition.
I am utterly disappointed in the late changes that the school administration took without being transparent to me or the student body.
Let us remember, all of this is because they were actually going to let her, if that's how I'm supposed to refer to her, be homecoming king. Yes, the administration was going to let her, this self-proclaimed lesbian, be homecoming king. All that they said was that they were also going to have a biological male be a king. That's what all this is about. This is what they're scolding the administration for. This is what this rally is for. And then they're going to talk about bullying. Clearly, the staff is being bullied here.
These actions undermine the personal message I was trying to make, and further, the decision hurt the very student body they are supposed to protect by demonstrating that there seemed to be a problem with having a female in the king role requiring other men to be included.
Okay, so I guess she is a female who identifies as a female. She's a lesbian female who I guess just wanted to be king. So based on what she just said, I think that the information of her being a biological female who identifies as a male is incorrect. I'm guessing she identifies as a female.
However, the equivalent was not done for the Queen's side. Even if the intention was different, please note that it failed. The only message received was a woman cannot possibly hold this powerful title. This is the same for any future student who wins king or queen who is transgender. By stripping them of their spotlight due to their so-called aesthetic value is unjust and dehumanizing. They do not owe anyone an explanation for how they identify. They should not and will not be seen differently because they are not cisgender.
They don't owe anyone an explanation, but we don't understand. I need an explanation because I don't understand. I don't know what I'm supposed to refer to you as. I don't understand the whole aspect of you being transgender. If you are calling yourself a female lesbian, but you're a woman who's a king, I need an explanation. You can't completely and utterly confuse people and then yell at them and scream at them and scold them for not understanding.
However, I am still hopeful that this administration and our student body can come together and collaborate to figure out ways to prevent this occurrence from ever happening again in the future. Many students on campus attend school to escape the harsh realities they live in within their own homes. They come to feel comfortable in what they hope would be a safe place. When I listed my outside school activities on the document that was necessary for homecoming announcements, I made it a point that I was a voice for LGBTQ+ and female-identifying students. I will continue to stick by this, as you can see.
Okay, so female identifying students. Maybe this is a male who identifies as a female. I truly don't know, and I'm truly trying to understand. I will say this, though, because Zoe mentioned that people, they go to school to escape what's going on at home, and that's terrible that that's a reality for some people. But the purpose of a school is to educate the students. Really, at the end of the day, it's not for sports and homecoming kings and queens and dances and LGBT rallies. It's supposed to be to educate students. It's supposed to be to give them the tools that they need to be independent, to get a job. So I think our youth really needs a reality check regarding the life of this world and how things really work.
I have accumulated a number of stories that students would like to share in your presence. So please allow their voices to be heard so we can further make change, because it is quite obvious that this behavior is not isolated.
So it really seems like what's going on in these educational institutions is you have these students educating the staff and the teachers. Yes, instead of the adults educating the children, it is now the children who are educating the adults. And that's not to say that older people can't learn from younger people. But the truth is, the reason that these young people even think this way is because the adults have been pushing this agenda. The adults have accepted this. They have made the younger generation think that LGBTQ+ supporting them, advocating for them, promoting them, this is like the most righteous you can be. So the younger generation believed you. And now this is what we have. All right, so the last thing I want to do is respond to the news broadcast. This was reported by ABC7, but it was also posted on Yahoo News. So let's see how the media is taking this story and presenting it.
School in New Jersey voted for 2 females for this year's homecoming queen and king, but school administrators weren't having it and added 2 additional male winners.
Okay, so 2 females won king and queen. So I guess Zoe is the female who is being referred to as a female who won king, and then another female won queen. So the school said, okay, well, we're going to also have 2 male winners. Okay, so I guess that's what those 2 guys are. I finally figured this out. So those 2 guys are the 2 males who won homecoming king. So here we have at this school, we have 2 homecoming kings who are male, a homecoming queen who's a female, and then Zoe, who that whole rally was for, who is a female who won king, but she didn't come. I finally figured it out.
And that led to a demonstration today at Passaic County Technical Institute. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon joins us from Wayne with more on this part of the story. Sonia.
And David and Liz, there was a massive show of support today for some students who say they were looking to break barriers, but their school failed to support them. Students here at Passaic County Technical Institute today at a sit-in cheered for the young woman who'd been voted homecoming king, not once, but 3 times.
I had been going through a lot of online bullying and harassment, so it was really hard for me. But when I won, I kind of felt like it all went away. It was all worth it.
I was just so relieved because it felt like we were finally being heard.
Side note, according to the email I received, apparently these rainbow flag masks are actually against school policy. But since this whole rally, the administration is just allowing it. Like, the students are really getting their way. I've never seen anything spread so quickly with such authority as this LGBT movement.
But even after being elected, Zoe chose not to attend the homecoming event with her running mate, Jaikel Perez, after the school added 2 male kings in an effort to balance out the court.
Your senior loyal courts.
The event ended up a little awkward, but Jaikel still wanted to represent the ticket.
Zoe's campaign slogan was breaking barriers, and they said, in the spirit of breaking barriers and being more inclusive, we've decided to add additional kings to the court.
You see how breaking barriers, it only goes one way. How dare you have 2 kings? How dare you have males? According to Zoe's speech, part of this is just to show how women can have this authority of being a king. You see the double standards? You see the hypocrisy? Belittle men, disrespect men, perfectly fine, perfectly okay.
Zoe's parents and friends say that was pretty tone deaf. Today, the principal at the sit-in apologized on behalf of the administration, saying they thought they were doing the right thing.
Okay, now watch the groveling of this principal.
I feel horrible, not just for Zoe, for everyone that feels slated. That was not the intention of our decision. We wanted to include more students that were on the ballot and went and put themselves out there for homecoming court.
Yeah, so he's apologizing because even though he allowed there to be a female homecoming king and a female queen, the fact that the horrible crime that he committed, according to all these students, is that instead of just letting 2 females win, king and queen, he also wanted to allow 2 males to win, 2 boys to win. And now he is groveling and apologizing, and he feels so bad because look at what happened to his school. They turned on him. There's this big LGBT rally. It's on the news. And now he is so deeply sorry for this crime of trying to have 2 boys also win alongside the 2 girls.
For that, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I am definitely very appreciative for the apology. I just feel like we've heard sorry so many times.
Now, we have invited Principal Garcia to speak with us on camera. We have not heard back, but the school did issue a statement saying it's proud of its diversity and that it supports students speaking their minds. In fact, the principal told the students gathered at the sit-in today that he was proud of them for organizing that event. Zoe and Jaikel have been invited to speak at the next school board meeting. They tell us they're looking forward to it.
So this behavior has been rewarded. He's proud of them. They're being given positions to speak. So this behavior of being so pro-LGBT, of rallying, of protesting, of screaming at the administration, this is being rewarded. This is being encouraged. And there you have it. I just wanted to report the news. This is what's going on at the public schools. And thanks to all you adults who have been so supportive of this movement and encouraging it and promoting it, as this is like the most woke a human being can be. This is the most virtuous thing that somebody can do. It's to support the LGBT movement. And if you dare speak against it, if you dare disagree with it, if you do not submit and grovel to them, then you're going to pay for it. Allah knows best. Thank you for watching. Don't send your children to public school. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.